Right, hello everybody, welcome back to biology. Today we are looking at the endocrine system. So our remember task is just going to touch back on what we were looking at last week. So if we've got a rabbit eating some grass, the rabbit sees a fox and it hops away from it, what is the stimulus in that situation and what are the receptors that are detecting that stimulus? If you're higher, have a go at this second question as well. How does the central nervous system, or the CNS, coordinate the rabbit's response? So pause the video, spend about 5-10 minutes on this, and then come back for the answers. Okay, let's move on to the answers. Okay, so in our little story of the rabbit and the fox, the stimulus is going to be the fox, or the threat of predation, and the receptors which detected the stimulus will be the rabbit's eyes. The answer for the higher question, the CNS decides what to do with the information it receives. It's then going to send that information along the motor neurons to the effectors, which are the muscles in the rabbit's legs, and the muscles are then going to contract and the rabbit will then hop away to safety. So well done if you got that right. Okay, moving on to the human endocrine system. So you need to write down this definition. The endocrine system is a control system in the body which communicates using chemical messengers, also known as hormones, to produce slow but long-lasting responses to certain stimuli. This process involves the release of hormones, which are also going to be known as our chemical messengers, from different glands around the body. You can see on this picture to the right where all the different glands are in our body. We've got pituitary gland, thyroid, pancreas, ovaries, testes, adrenal glands. We're going to look at all of these in a little bit more detail a little further on. So pause the video, write down that definition. Okay, so what are hormones exactly? A hormone is a chemical substance which is going to be produced by the different glands around our body. And it's important to remember that hormones are carried around the body in the bloodstream. They can alter the activity of specific target organs. And once a hormone has been used, it's then destroyed by the liver. The hormones can control the body and the effects are much slower than the nervous system, but they last for a lot longer. So that is one difference between hormones and the central nervous system. Okay, so these two questions should be quite easy. You can go back into the slides if you need a bit of help. You just need to write down what is a hormone and then what is an endocrine gland. So pause the video, it should take only 2 minutes. Okay, welcome back. Okay, what is a hormone? It's a large molecule produced in the endocrine gland. So an endocrine gland is just any of the glands in the body that produces hormones. And it provides the body's chemical coordination. It is carried around the body in the blood and it targets organs where it produces an effect. Our second question, what is an endocrine gland? This is just a gland that produces a hormone and secretes them directly into the blood. So we've got the thyroid, the ovaries, the testes, etc. So well done if you've got those two right. Okay, now one of our glands is also known as the master gland, and it is the pituitary gland, which is right up here in our brain. It's known as a master gland because it secretes several different hormones into the blood in response to our body's conditions, such as our blood water levels and also our sugar levels in our blood. These hormones are then going to act on other glands to then stimulate the release of different hormones, which will bring about different effects. We'll have a look at these effects later on. But if you have a closer look at this image, you can see what glands produce exactly what hormones. So you can see down here the pancreas, probably the most well-known gland, produces insulin, and insulin is responsible for keeping the sugar levels in our blood at a stable level. Then we've got down here the ovaries produce estrogen if you're a female, and the testes produce testosterone in males. The adrenal glands produce adrenaline, and then the pituitary gland is secreting a lot of different hormones. Okay, another task. First question is, why is the pituitary gland sometimes called the master gland of the endocrine system? It's worth 3 marks, you need to write 3 different things. For question 2, suggest what would happen if the pituitary gland did not produce enough growth hormone in a child and then produced a lot of growth hormone in an adult. Pause the video. Together it should take 6 or 7 minutes to do both these questions and then come back for your answers. Okay, welcome back. Let's move on to our answers. So, first question was, suggest why the pituitary gland is called the master gland. So the pituitary gland is the small gland in the brain, and it controls many bodily processes, as well as secreting the secretions of other glands in the body. So it can produce a hormone, which then goes to another gland and tells that gland to produce a hormone. It can produce different hormones that give it that control, and the pituitary gland is known as the master gland because so many other endocrine glands rely on it to function. So if the pituitary gland stopped working for whatever reason, a lot of our other glands wouldn't be able to work without it. Okay, what would happen if a child did not have enough growth hormone? The child would not grow properly, or they would be short. They might look a lot younger than their age, and they might have delayed tooth development. So you get 2 marks for that answer. And in adults, if they had too much growth hormone, they would have acromegaly, which means that some parts of their bodies would continue to grow and grow and grow. If this happened before puberty, they'd become very unusually tall. So they would become a lot taller and bigger than the average person because they have a lot of growth hormone. Okay, well done. If you need to pause and correct any of your answers, do so. If not, move on. Let's go. Okay, let's have a look at the different glands and what the hormone of that gland does in our body. So let's look at the pituitary gland, or the master gland. It controls the growth in children. It stimulates your thyroid gland, which is in your neck, to make thyroxine, which controls the rate of your metabolism, or how fast you use energy. In women, it stimulates the ovaries to release eggs, and it makes the female sex hormone estrogen. And in men, it does the same for the testes and makes the male hormone testosterone. The thyroid gland is located in the neck, and it controls the metabolic rate of the body, or how fast your body uses energy. You've got the pancreas, which is just below your stomach. It controls the levels of glucose in the blood. The adrenal gland prepares adrenaline, and it prepares your body for stressful situations, so it's responsible for that flight or fight response. In women, we have the ovaries, and this controls the development of their female secondary sexual characteristics and is involved in the proper running of the menstrual cycle. And in men, it does the same thing for the male secondary sexual characteristics, and it's involved with the production of sperm. So this table here shows you, again, all of the different glands in our endocrine systems and what their hormones actually do in our bodies. Now this table here is going to help you a lot in the next couple of tasks that you're going to need to do, and it tells you the differences between the nervous system and our hormonal system. So we can see here the type of signals they give out are different. So the nervous system, they are electrical, and hormone, they're chemical. How they get around, so impulses in the nervous system will get by through your nerve cells, whereas hormones will travel around your body in the bloodstream. And then we have the type of response. We've got muscle contraction or secretion. So this is when a stimulus travels along your central nervous system, it will trigger a response in your effector, and that will either be a muscle contraction or it will cause a gland to secrete a hormone. The speed of the response is very different. Your nervous system is very, very quick. In your hormonal system, however, is very slow. However, the duration of the response, although your hormones take longer to respond to something, the effect lasts a lot longer. Whereas in the nervous system, those messages get around your body very, very quickly, but the duration of that response is very short. Okay, so this is what you're going to need to do. We've got a diagram here with some letters on it. You just need to name the different glands in the body. So we've got the pancreas, the thyroid, adrenal gland, and the master gland. So if you need to go back into the PowerPoint, do so, and that will help you. For question 2, we have Jared, who has burnt his hand, and that leads to responses in both the endocrine system and the nervous system. You need to give 2 ways in which you would expect those responses to differ. So this is where that table we looked at on the previous slide is going to come in very handy. So if you need to go back to that slide, then do so. But for now, pause the video and then come back in a few minutes. Once you're done, we'll go through the answers. Okay, welcome back. So for the pancreas was D, down in the near the kidneys there. The thyroid is B, C is the adrenal gland, and A is the master gland up in your brain, also known as the pituitary gland. So for question 2, Jared Burton's hand, the hormonal response is going to be a lot slower than the nervous system response. The hormones are going to act for a longer time than the nervous response. And the hormones are going to act in a more general way, whereas the nerves are going to target a very precise area. So those are your 3 differences in the hormonal and the nervous system and how they would respond to this situation. So well done. Last thing you need to do, this is a 6-mark question, so you need at least 6 points. Explain how coordination and control by your hormones differs from coordination and control by the nervous system. So again, that table is going to come in handy. Remember, it's 6 marks, so you need to write 6 different things. Once you're done, come back and we'll have a look at the mark scheme. Okay, hello. So this up on the screen here are all the everything you could have written in your response. So hormones are chemicals that control the processes of the body, whereas the nervous system are electrical impulses which are passed from the receptors to the brain. Hormones get around your body via the blood, whereas the nervous system is transmitted along your neurons. Your hormones act quickly, but some act quickly, but some act very, very slowly, and they are slower than the nervous control. However, they do have a much longer effect in your body. The nervous system is different because the impulses travel very quickly, especially your reflexes. Transmission from one neuron to another can involve some chemical substances, but the nerves will have a much shorter effect. It's also important to remember that the hormones will have kind of like a general effect on your effectors, whereas the nervous system kind of targets specific areas of the body. Okay, that brings us to the end of today's presentation. I hope you found it useful. So all you need to do now is have a go at that Google quiz. Hopefully you'll get over 50%. If you need any help, please contact myself, Miss Franklin, or Miss Charbonneau. And yeah, I hope you're all doing well. I hope to see you all in school soon. And yeah, if you need any help, get in contact with us. Thank you very much. Goodbye.